Welcome back to the Nerd Paradise podcast. First, let's get a disclaimer for our next part.
Harvey?
For viewer consideration, please note that the next segment shall be racially charged, a little bit immature, scratch that, highly immature, and may assault your sense of dignity, morality, but certainly not your sense of humor.
Please don't come after my ass.
Viewer discretion is advised.
And ladies and gentlemen, what we are warning you against is something that you may be surprised about. It may seem innocuous at first.
We're starting to figure out new things about this show more and more.
Was it late 90s, early 2000s this came out?
Yes.
Yeah. This show we are talking about is the anime Metabots.
Now, I loved this as a kid.
I did too.
And I never really...
We all hated the second season. We can agree on that.
I never really got these undertones, what we're about to say a bit, but that'll come later.
Oh, God, the undertones.
Yeah. The idea of the show, to me, at least as a kid, and it still kind of does, appeal like crazy. You have these little, 2 or 3 foot robots that follow you around and you make them fight. So at least, for some people...
It's got the skeleton of the whole... Pokemon story, basically.
Yes, but for people who get mad about animal rights stuff, it's far from animal cruelty because these are robots that are fighting each other and not little animals or creatures or magical beasts, whatever you want to call it.
PETA can't touch this.
Well, unless they argue that the robots are shaped like the animals.
I'm tired of them.
Except they have human anthropod skeletons.
Just go. So
PETA's gone after furries.
Oh well.
Anyways,
we're not getting into our feelings on PETA this time. We're talking about Metabots.
Yes, Metabots.
Alright, before we even start, we all like this show, okay?
Yeah.
I love it with a passion. It gives me back to nostalgic childhood of me wanting a pet robot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, this came around the time of shows like BattleBots and Robot Wars.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that, except these things walked and talked and had attitude and shot lasers.
At least one of them had attitude.
Yes, at least one.
So I really wanted a pet robot.
Okay, so what we're going to be talking about here is the concept of the show itself, the first 2 episodes, and of course the main robot, Metaby.
So it's just a review.
Kinda.
Now, we start off with the story. First episode, we get
there's a criminal syndicate that have stolen this rare metal, which they don't talk about much at first.
No, it's in the suitcase. It's just,
It's a little metal. It's actually...
Which is essentially what you can consider as the soul of a Metabot.
Yeah. The brain, the CPU.
Yeah. And it's a microchip, yeah.
And so while these criminals are making their escape, they're ambushed by another criminal who puts a lot of smoke and mirrors and screws them all up and steals this rare metal from them. And then he's...
Tuxedo mask, but more flamboyant.
Yeah, with actually a full mask on too, to his credit. And like a derp, he drops it, and then he falls in the river as well.
Wrong word, Harvey.
We're not going to get to that, go on.
Well, I'm sorry, but soccer moms have destroyed that word for me.
Anyways, go on before we go off
I'm on the
internet.
Tangent. I will derp and herp as hard as I want.
Yeah, I know, but still. They destroyed the character. I'm sad.
So he drops it.
Anyways, back to Metabots.
He drops it, then his stuff screwed up, he falls in the water, and he's miserable, and obviously doesn't walk away with it. Then we cut to the school, and there's all these kids that are running to watch a row battle, which is what they call a battle between the 2 Metabots.
Between the head delinquent at the school and the student council president.
Which is kind of funny considering that they're called Metabots, but the battles between them are row battles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta put in all that whole... This is a robot show kind of lingo to it.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I recall correctly, they never once referred to Metabots as robots.
Well, you don't go around saying, when you do a Pokemon battle, you don't call it a Poke battle.
Yeah, besides, to refer to them specifically as robots seems kind of demeaning because they're more advanced than that. Yeah. We should also state that while they say so in the theme song, which is the extended version of the theme song that the North American viewers didn't see, It's in the 22nd century, so this isn't something that's going to happen like 10 years from now. Certainly didn't happen 10 years from when it came out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, this is the norm. Kids and a lot of adults have their own Metabot as their partner. Some of them fight with them, some of them just have them as companions, and some have them as like servants and stuff. And so it's a huge part of the culture.
Yeah.
And it's the norm. And then there's this one kid who is our main character, and he doesn't have a Metabot
because his parents are cheap.
Yeah, because he's a broke ass kid, and
he's not broke.
Well,
he himself.
Yeah, no, his parents are just trying to instill the whole let's save money aspect, as all Asian parents try to do.
They're trying to teach him the value
Trust
of
me,
money.
If they were good parents, his mother in the second episode wouldn't climb into bed with him.
But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, so
apparently she heard about it on a TV show. Or is she watching? I don't know.
You're getting too ahead of yourselves here.
Hello, Japan. How are you? So, kid doesn't have it. He's watching the battle and analyzing everything and talking like a total pro, like knows his shit. And he doesn't have one. He gets called out for it. There's another kid who's in the gang of the delinquents, and he gets pressured into this 3-on-1 battle with these like actual delinquent gang guys who are apparently going around and doing this to all sorts of kids and essentially mugging them.
They're rockers, and which gets me like really weirded out is the whole like
the triangle guy.
That's the triangle guy. There's a triangle in like
the instrument. We're not talking about a guy that's shaped like a triangle. Like his instrument, one of them's playing a guitar, another's playing a bass, and triangle.
Which makes
electric triangle. Electric triangle.
It's not plugged into anything. It's just a triangle,
and it's making the electric sound.
Yeah, that's not metal. It's made of metal, but it's not metal.
Anyways,
also, someone who starts watching the show might get very confused with metal and metal is how much the words are used.
Yeah.
So,
well, they kind of speak a little bit fast.
We shall try to enunciate these things properly.
Enunciate.
That was the joke.
Yeah, well, you did not perform it very well.
Anyways.
Alright, well, shut up.
So, they steal his Metapart, the other gang's Metapart, and he goes back to his boss saying how he lost the Metapart.
Yeah, so she goes there to confront them. Turns out they're a bigger deal than she knows, and so she
essentially just decides to join them.
Yeah.
And like becoming a lackey, like all...
Yeah, she's she's a bandwagon kind of person. Like, she just goes with whoever seems to be the best option at the time.
Mm-hmm. So our main character's name's Icky, and he's got this friend Erika, and she's a reporter for the school paper, and she's very self-assured, and she's very arrogant. Yeah, and so she follows him to watch this robot going on that doesn't actually happen. And then she's being all pressured and cornered into fighting, and so Icky runs away.
Like the little coward he is.
Yeah. Earlier, she's totally bitching him out about not having a Metabot, not buying this really, really old one that the convenience store clerk has. Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, while running away,
he's stopped by the wise chick peddler.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention that. Baby chicks.
Wait, we forgot to mention that the day before, after refusing to buy the Metabot, Icky does find the lost metal in the river,
thinking it's a coin, and then to his surprise, it's actually a lot more valuable than that. More than he knows, actually.
More than we know at this point in the series.
Yeah.
Foreshadow.
Yeah, and so. Ooh. So he talks to the chick salesman who has this whole deep pitch about looking inside yourself, which is really a sales pitch to get the kid to buy a chick. But at that point, the kid's already drawn his own conclusion and clued out. Runs home, gets his meager savings, buys the discount old Metabot that the clerk was offering him before, that he very, very dickly rejected before.
By the way, this becomes a running gag.
Yes, the chicken guy always gives what seems like really zen and sage-like advice, but essentially he's just trying to sell a chick. Yeah. But in the end, people usually tune out at that point.
I kind of equate him to like a wiser, more helpful Magikarp salesman from Pokemon shows.
He's got a similar getup and everything too, and so he goes to battle. Of course, the thing's old, so it doesn't work at first.
Yeah, at first the Metabot, which is named Marky B. Yes,
Beetle.
More on him later. Doesn't work, and it's kind of getting tossed around by the gang members' Metabots. Mm-hmm. Two of which are like these kind of goat kind of things, and a phoenix kind of bird thing.
They reminded me a lot of like hellhounds, actually.
Yeah, well, but they had horns though.
Houndoom has horns.
Well, the names were Black Ram, if I remember correctly. Black Rams, and then the Phoenix.
Yeah. Either way, it was a hell kind of theme.
Either way, the Black Rams, basically, their weapons were basically hand-to-hand, and the Phoenix was flamethrowers.
Yeah, obviously.
Except for one Black Ram, which had the stolen part.
Yes.
Yeah, so it had lasers. And so...
Rockets.
Yes, actually. And so, let's get... Marky B, who's not functioning yet, is being tossed around and damaged. And so Icky's getting more and more frustrated that he bought this thing and it doesn't work, and he screams...
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Move, you stupid piece of junk! Which initiates...
Badass activation mode.
Now see, at this moment, if you haven't noticed already, if you've not watched the show, Marky B has a certain voice.
His voice actor pulls off a voice and an attitude that... I'm sorry, I don't have a better way of saying it. A very... very ghetto black man.
Now, see...
I would use the word jive, actually.
Jive, yes.
Now, cue in the Boondocks saying of that one episode with Grandpa and Stinkmeyer.
Yeah. Having an N moment, we'll say.
Yeah, throughout the entire series.
Very, very easy triggers.
I'm sorry, people.
Yeah. So...
Please don't sue. Come on, we just interviewed Brent the Floss here.
Marky B runs in and obviously kicks the thing's asses because he's got this rare metal in him, so he's extra powerful. And
yeah, he doesn't even use any of his weapons. He just punches them to death.
Yeah. Well, no, he shoots one of them down.
Yeah, true.
And then Icky's all proud of himself, and Marky B's saying no.
Finally, this is where he begins talking.
Yeah.
And his attitude shows up.
Yeah.
Oh boy, his attitude.
Icky says, I did nothing wrong. And Marky B, who's been telling him until now, goes, correction, you called me a piece of junk. And proceeds to open fire on his Metafighter.
And moment part 2.
Yeah.
And cue episode 2.
Where
it begins with Mama Bad Touch.
Well, first, Icky has this whole dream of him being world Metabot champion.
And Marky B actually listening to him.
Yeah, being,
and being
subordinate
obedient.
And being proper. Like,
and all his friends, including the delinquent gang.
Oh god, I just realized something bad. Even worse with the voice.
Oh yeah?
He has a black voice, and in the dream he was being subordinate.
Oh
no.
We're just coming up with these new ones each time we watch this show.
There are things that we notice now as jaded semi-adults or adults that we didn't occur to us as kids, but now we don't have that innocence anymore.
Games.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we apologize again profusely.
So he wakes up from this dream, and as Matt stated, this is where his mother's trying to wake him up for school, like every normal mom should. But this is where it gets twisted. Now, she says...
Yeah, a normal mom would, I don't know, maybe make some loud noises or shake the kid awake.
Or throw the blankets off or get water to put in his face or something.
Yeah. No, what she does is gets into bed with her, 10-year-old son?
Yeah, she crawls in, lays right beside him, and cuddles up. And then...
He wakes up.
He sees this, has a what the fuck moment, and jumps out of bed. Because... Really, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Imagine your mother right there, right beside you, when you wake up in the morning and you're not even 5 anymore.
Yeah.
Especially your mom.
God, no! Thanks! My nightmares for the rest of the year.
Good morning,
Now,
Matthew.
her excuse for this is she saw it on TV.
What kind of TV is she watching? And how legal is it?
Then again, you think back, Japan, land of dreams.
Fucked up dreams.
Marketing and...
So,
Anyways, moving on.
he goes downstairs
sees Metabee just chilling
with his dad, reading the newspaper.
and actually doing favors for his mom.
and not giving a shit what Icky says.
Yeah.
Like, normal anime convention does.
Yeah. So it seems obvious that Metabee's going to be
Abrasive.
Yeah. For as much as possible.
He's not going to make things easy. Icky's going to school, and Metabee's going the same way and not following him because he does whatever he wants.
And thus comes stalker number 1.
Oh god, another bad moment.
Yeah, so here is Henry. He is the owner of the store that sells the Metabots,
Yeah.
and
And,
it's also a convenience store, interestingly enough.
That kind of
spoiler alert, he's the masked bandit from episode 1, which nobody realizes.
you kind of could tell with the whole hair and then the way he his voice. You could tell it was him. He can disguise his voice all he wants. It's him.
Not to mention this stuff that this Phantom Renegade only does at night. This kid has a day schedule. And that's it. And we find out other things about what could have been his past later on in the series, but we can touch upon that another time.
Yeah, should we
Now-
go on further in this?
Yeah.
Now, he explains to Icky about the defections of Metabee, and it's not the parts he sold him, it's the metal. Which thus continues on to Metabee doing another end moment. End moment part 3.
Where he opens fire at both of them because they insulted him by calling him defective.
Yeah, and try to take his metal out.
Yeah.
Which, A, he didn't allow to happen, and B, when Icky tries to use his watch dealie to eject the metal remotely, it's jammed and doesn't work.
Yeah.
Now,
That thing's stuck in there.
now time goes on. Some hijinks happens at school.
Nothing really important. Up until the part where Icky gets recruited by the student council to take on the little kid gang.
Yeah. After, of course, having a big fight with Metabee and saying, I don't want to see your face
before
again.
that, foreshadowing. A bit of foreshadowing. The whole, we gotta get rid of, we gotta show Icky who's boss now because he's getting too popular. And they start on with someone who's the big cheese they mention. And we find out who the big cheese is a bit later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Which is very disappointing. By the way, by this point, there's a lot of sexual innuendos that are non-intentional here.
Or at least they're not very apparent. They're
Well,
kind
they
of
may
subtly
not be
put in.
that, or they're just innuendos, and we just have really dirty minds.
Maybe, but I'm drawing enough connections there that...
But we'll start to see that when,
Alright,
when
so,
they do the actual role battle.
Racist moment number next. As Metabee, pissed off at Icky, is walking away, the store owner sets up a trap.
with a net on the sidewalk. And what's in the middle of that net to lure this
A fucking watermelon.
A plump-looking watermelon.
which Metabee sees, and he gets this
Instinctual.
weird, it's this instinctual thing where he can't resist the watermelon, and he goes and tackles it, and he gets trapped.
Yeah.
Now, see, they explained it with him being a beetle type.
But as far as I know, I don't know any beetles that like watermelon.
Yeah,
Now,
the
that
shop
and
owner Henry walks out and says, "Oh, you have the beetle metal, and beetles can't resist watermelons. Really? Is it the beetles that you're saying can't resist it? Is that what you're doing?"
Now, see, if this was... Now, I haven't seen the Japanese part, but I know his voice is very different. So, in the Japanese part, it is beetle. Like, beetles are attracted to plants and fruit and all that. That's their explanation.
Yes, but why did it have to be a watermelon?
Well, in the Japanese are very fond of their watermelon as well. The shape. It's another art kind of thing.
It also has to be big enough for him to really latch onto.
Yes, but still.
So,
In the English translation, it kind of makes it seem,
Horribly racist?
yes. Oh God.
Very stereotypical.
The only worst thing that they could have done was if it was chicken and waffles.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta talk a bit more about that while I figure out who was the. Okay,
I don't think it will say there.
Nelvana.
Nelvana was the company that produced this.
Okay, Nelvana should be now called Stereotypes Are Us.
We're on to you.
Anyways, going on. So they go off into the roll battle. Icky can't summon Meta B for some reason.
Because there's no metal in the watch. The metal has to be there in order to summon the Metabots.
Yes.
Mm.
Now...
So yeah, he's about to battle the little gang, which is called the Screws, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, headed by Sam...
Who has a cat-like Metabot. Pepper Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, Icky's trying to find Meta B at this time. He bumps into the chick guy.
The chicken guy!
We will call him the Chicken Man from here on out.
Yes.
And... Chicken Man gives another
Worldly advice.
Yeah, deep inspirational speech.
And then right at that moment, Henry, the shop owner, walks by with Metabee and Annette.
Mm-hmm. So, Icky gives us how she feel about, he probably is defective, and I'm not happy with him. But he's what he
is. What he is.
Yeah, he's all I've got for now, which I didn't think sounded very complimentary.
Now see here, this was not an end moment now. This has now become a Pikachu moment.
Yes.
Yeah, this was the deep trusting bond, like that connection that they feel.
At least initially.
Yes. That's what happens.
It doesn't get much better anytime soon, mind you.
Now Henry sees the good in Icky and
decides to let Metabee stay as he is without taking the rare metal. I just forget, what was he planning to do with it again?
Because the rare metals were a source of power, he wanted to keep that power so
actually
bad hands wouldn't get it, I think.
Yes, that is what goes on, and that's Phantom
he works
Renegades'
for
actual thing.
Who you guys will find out later is Dr. Aki.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
He's supposed to protect the rare metals, but they make it seem like he's just a criminal at first, because you don't get that idea. So he gives Metabee back to Icky. Icky goes and they do the roll battle.
He wins.
They work together and he wins. And then the big cheese that the Screws gave,
the Baron,
they were so ominously referring to before, and how he was going
Baron
to
von something.
Von Banish.
Yeah, Baron von Banish. Who sounds like a pretty badass name to be
Not
honest.
to mention, he looked like the typical, like, I'm going to kick your ass and then going to wipe my feet with it.
Mm-hmm.
Really. You're going to be trash and I'm going to throw you into the trash can kind of guy.
So he challenges Icky to a row battle. And it takes all of one bullet to take the guy's row.
1 second. Hold on 1 second. As soon as he summons it up, bang!
Boom.
To which Icky says, "That's it?" Metabee replies,
Oh.
What I was expecting more. And one of the student council person says, "That was pretty anticlimactic."
And this is where me and Harvey look at each other and burst out with laughter.
Yeah, that's kind of wow.
Because here and there we pick up on what seems like innuendo about impotence. Really?
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
pretty much.
Calling the metal
and
defective and.
Yeah.
He can't get it to eject, and just so many things. You probably think, I'm sure you already think we're horrible people by this time, so you're not too surprised, but just so you know, we're corrupting Metabots for you now, too.
Yeah. Say bye-bye to your childhoods.
No innocence left!
So that's where...
And here we just interviewed somebody that was helping our childhoods.
Now, the Baron realizes this, and his excuse was...
He doesn't feel well, so he walks away.
Back into the sunset.
Yes.
Which is a very, very funny moment. Now, at the end of this whole thing, Erica starts to become one of the bitchy characters and reveals the actual reason why Icky wanted Metabee out.
Yeah, so you can be part of student council. Mm-hmm. Which pisses off Metabee again.
End moment number 5.
Who starts shooting at him.
And everybody. Yeah. The trust is broken. We also forgot to mention, during the school hijinks... A lot of shit is actually talked about Marky B, and then he has another end moment and shoots up the hallway of students.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot the principal.
Yeah, there's
We'll get to him when he actually has his episode.
which he does,
But he had a funny moment in this where you start to figure out the principal's character.
Yeah, he wants to challenge. He gets a note from the Screws, which was originally in Icky's locker. He goes to meet them, and he challenges them to a row battle, and the Screws run away.
Yeah, seeming more like he's telling them to get lost because he's so tough.
Yeah.
When he really goes, they run away, and he goes, "I'm so lonely."
And thus his Metabot Samurai comes in and says,
There, sir.
Poor guy.
The principal and Samurai turned out to be really, really
which is
like,
kind of
fun
weird
characters.
because the teacher is. We haven't really talked about the teacher, but the teacher is very anti-Metabot.
Yes,
Doesn't he have a Metabot though?
the gym teacher, who we see more about later, is very preaching about anti-Metabot stuff. And surprisingly, he bears a very distinct resemblance to Mr. Baron von Banish.
Now that you think about it.
Just tossing that out there.
But anyways, which is kind of weird because it's usually the roles are reversed, where the teacher's the happy-go-lucky good guy and
And the principal's all hard ass.
Yeah.
But in here, the principal is seemingly hip with the kids, and he's got his own Metabot, but no one's going to challenge him because he's the principal.
Yes.
Now, lots of hijinks happens in the other episodes, but we'll talk about...
We'll get to those eventually, hopefully.
Now, but we want to talk about a few characters. First of all, the one glaring one.
Marky B. Marky B. We love the guy. I mean, he's a fun character, nonetheless. But when they decide to voice him as a black guy, essentially...
But not just a black guy, a very stereotypically angry black guy.
When they decided to voice him like that, I'm not sure if they watched the entire series beforehand or if they did this on purpose. If they did this on purpose, then kudos for having the balls to do that.
And getting it past the censors.
Yeah. But if they just did this by accident, then...
Well, kudos again.
Kudos for the funny, but at the same time, we can now see why these days anime companies watch the entire Japanese run before they start dubbing something.
Yeah, they're a lot more careful now about what they do, what they put out, and what they're willing to try.
Yeah.
Now, Marky B as himself is a very fun character. He
short fuse, funny talking. He's fun.
Comes up with great one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah. His little outbursts, like expressing his anger, little like shouts and grunts and everything, get really funny.
Yeah.
Which is, it's funny, one of the sounds he makes when he's getting more and more pissed off reminds me a lot of the sound that they would make when confused in the anime Hamtaro.
Well, they're trying to do the whole Beatles sound.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Either way, though, Marky B's a really great character, and despite his obvious flaws...
Well, we want to list some stuff down. Okay, first we have the whole short fuse and the whole end moments. Then we have...
The watermelon.
And
Then we have the dream where he's obedient.
Yes. And then the one we just discovered a bit early off air...
There's an episode...
Not to mention, sorry to cut in here, but he refuses to listen to his metafighter. He is blatantly going against the man.
Yeah.
Now...
A later episode where they're at a beach, it turns out Marky B can't swim.
Now, it has nothing to do with... The way they explained it is very logical, but the fact that...
The way that it's set up, it just turns out to be
racist again. Mm-hmm. The way they set it up, it just makes it seem more racist.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you have it.
Yeah, there's our view of Metabots. The other characters we've mentioned as we go along. There's Icky, who a lot of people find his voice annoying at first. I can live with it.
I definitely did, but after a time I got used to it. Then when they changed season 2 and they had different voice actors,
It was worse.
yeah, it was worse, and I couldn't
Oh,
get behind
the
it.
season 2 one. I remember now.
It was a lot
No,
less grating. It was more it was whiny.
Icky and Metabi had like a love war for the repair girl.
The repair. I don't remember
The one that gave Metabi the new body.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They have a love triangle with a Metabot.
No, that's a love angle. It's not a triangle if the other two don't connect.
Okay.
It's a very important distinction I learned from Dimitri Martin.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the way Metabi and Iggy have a bromance, they do kind of connect.
That's very, very different.
But yeah,
Not if you watch not if you read fan fiction, it isn't.
but
There's enough wrong with this show that fan fiction should not be touched in this sense.
But yeah, you get other characters later on, like
Guys, you don't
Koji.
even know the half of it. Don't you ever Google search cupcakes. Don't.
Thanks,
You
I won't do that.
Don't ever search cupcakes. Oh, God.
Okay.
The way it's... I'm not going to go into anything details, but this makes Silence of the Lambs look tame.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And this is a My Little Pony fanfiction.
I'm trying to be the...
And it makes Silence of the Lambs look tame.
Anyways, as the director, I should try to get back on point.
Are the ponies still neighing, Clarice?
No more tangents.
Yeah,
No.
so that's our views on Metabots.
Yeah.
Our views on the main characters, Metabi and Icky. And
Well, there's going to be more main characters later on, but
yes.
we'll get to
But
those.
we've only done 2 episodes. We've mentioned the important characters. I want to stick around the entire show.
Yeah, the show starts out and they have a high focus on different people battling their Metabots, doing the whole role battle thing, and that it's a big
And we
part
haven't
of
really
society.
talked about more in depth of the Robo gang, but you know,
Yeah,
we
well,
see
men in
more of
tights.
them later.
Men in tights.
Rubber suits, actually.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's still reminiscent of Men in Tights.
Yes. Okay, so that's it for that review. Let's close this up. Any closing thoughts, fellas? Yes, we can segue.
Well, Metabi is very racist.
Yes.
Metabi
Very-
is presented in a very racist manner.
I'm sorry, that's the most.
But
current-
it's still an awesome show, and if you can, get it on DVD. If you can't,
Look it up.
look it up. I mean, it's the internet. It's all out there.
Try to support the official release,
Yeah.
but do whatever's in your power. And
I mean, it took
Yeah.
a
It's not easy to find, mind you.
yeah, I find mine on an excellent little
I'm
discount.
pretty sure you
place.
can find it
It's
on
cool.
eBay. Pretty.
Yeah,
Okay.
but most people don't want to spend all that time looking.
Yes.
That's
Also,
we've learned that George Lucas really hates his fans.
But likes to get down.
Yeah.
oh jeez.
Let's see. We've learned
Empire
that there's remakes coming of movies that we really don't feel need them.
RoboCop.
They're putting out remakes of movies that we'd otherwise never heard of before and would have done better to not have heard from them in the first place.
Yes, and of course we're learning that.
Brent Black is a very down to earth kind of cool guy.
Yeah,
He's-
well,
in
he
real
is
life.
cool. He's not that kind of cool. He's cool. We enjoyed interviewing him. We had a blast, and we thank him very much for coming on here yet again.
Yep.
I think this is about the 10th time we've done so. We're sounding like a broken record.
Well, we're very dedicated fans. What can we
Yes,
say?
but as he pointed out, we are Canadian, so we are polite.
Yeah, we'll say sorry 20 times and.
Well,
But-
we're thanking a lot, but we apologize for nothing. If you subscribe to our channel, you will know that we apologize a lot. We kind of have to.
Yeah.
But our attitude is very
Well, it's
unapologetic.
we're trying to promote etiquette.
Yes. If you're
Not
going
many
to,
people promote
All right,
these days.
and-
if you're
now-
going to say horrible things, at least preface it or follow it up with, "Please don't kill me."
Or a disclaimer like Harvey did.
And now for a sad note, ladies and gentlemen. Due to a vacation for our director here, this may very well be our last official show for almost a month and a half.
Somewhat.
Yeah. We will try and get back as soon as possible, but around the time that our director Mark gets back, will be convention season starting, and me and Harvey may be busy at that point.
And even then, we'll probably do a little
Yeah.
Q&A about conventions. They'll probably like go around and interview random people.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we might try doing
That'd be
something
cool.
like that.
Yeah, if you know what might be interesting, if you wouldn't mind carrying stuff, and if you're free the night, we're Matthew and I are going to be going to Anime North this year. If on the Thursday night when we go to pick up the passes, if Mark tagged along, we could just set up and do a podcast there. Maybe find a corner that's not too busy. And
Well, as long as
do
they've set up the
something.
tables, we can easily do it there.
yeah,
And just
And
get
get-
a table near the wall so we can plug in the laptop.
And get some guys who are just, going around lining up.
yeah, we can talk to passersby about what they're looking forward to, and
Yeah. But in the meantime, we won't be completely silent. We just won't have a steady show like we are normally planning.
I am planning to do some stuff on the blog, so hopefully
Yes,
that works.
which we really need to get on top of. I shall do something on there probably sometime this week. Just a little introduction to us and what we each do for the podcast.
And I'm pretty
I'm
sure
not sure if we should still give Harvey the liaison position.
I will earn my place again.
So, look
But-
forward to that.
Yes. But in the meantime, as the summer movie season shall begin while Mark is away,
They'll be looking at it,
we
and
shall be, me and Harvey at least, shall strive to go to see certain movies and come in and do quick reviews. There'll be shorter podcasts, usually just one segment just on that. We may throw in some news or such stuff like that, but nothing big like we usually do where we go for 90 minutes at a time.
And I won't do the whole over-the-top starting point where we always do.
Yes. We won't have our introduction, unfortunately.
We'll
We
try-
may ask Mark to record it.
We'll try to keep everything interesting so it's not just a bunch of filler in the meantime. But with one man down of a three-man party, we will...
Hey, I have confidence that you guys will pick up the slack while I'm gone. Not that you guys already haven't.
Alright, now Mark, here's an important question.
Yes.
Can we crash at your place
Crash at my place. For when?
while you're gone? House sitting.
Actually, no. I have someone doing that already.
Damn.
Part of my family who's moving currently is going to be staying there for a couple months. So it's going to be packed.
Ah, good to know.
Okay.
My house is going to be packed for maybe around 2 or 3 months.
That's nice. But yeah, so as we've been saying, we will be updating less, but when we do update, it will be for good reasons. Movie reviews or any big news that may pop up, we shall mention, we shall talk about.
We might talk about other things just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, but you won't be hearing much of Marky B here, unfortunately. So any ladies out there that swoon at the sound of his voice, I apologize.
You can go back and listen to our previous episodes and
Yes.
just wait till the real thing comes back.
Sure. Whatever you guys say. With that closing statement, have fun, enjoy, comment on what we do next in the future.
Please subscribe. We'll be trying to be even more ambitious and try to talk to more big names out there.
We shall try and see who we can get.
This time, Mr. Liaison, don't get the time zone wrong.
I'll pay a little better attention to that. Of course, given that it's a communal account, it could work for either of you to check things up as well and to send the emails.
Which is kind of
Yes,
funny.
but once they're sent, that's the problem.
Which is kind of funny because I'm the director. I should be on your ass, but he is.
Yeah. Anyway, so in closing, everybody enjoy. Any new listeners that have come on, thanks to Bretafloss, we welcome you to the show and hope you listen to our past podcasts.
We hope you enjoy our ramblings and our
Yeah.
jokes that explain our horrible senses of humor and senses
Yeah,
of morality.
as time goes on, you'll learn more about us, and you learn that we're not awful people. We just do awful things.
Or
In Matt's case, very frequently.
we're decent people, but we have impeccable bad person impressions.
Yeah. So, till the next time, everybody take care of yourselves and keep out of the tall grass.